Working with text and images, lecture 6. In today's class, we'll be looking at how to animate a text. Before starting with text animation, let us look at a simple animation that I have already made in Flash. So let's see how this animation looks like. This is a very simple animation that you can also create in Flash. To animate text, we need to follow some few steps. So those steps we'll be looking at now. To start with, we'll start with a new file. Okay, click on a new file, select the text, use the text tool to create a text. So we'll keep the text as we'll use the capital letters, text. Okay, we'll use the word text for our animation. So here one important point is always we need a static text, then only it will be visible on the stage or animation. If you use a dynamic text, it will prompt you to enter values or a text. So how you will understand this? Okay, so you have your properties. So under properties section, it should be always static text, never dynamic text or input text. Input text will prompt you to enter values. So here it is a static text. So click the static text. By default, how you'll understand this, when you select it as dynamic text, the small box is on downside. This indicates a dynamic text. So when you change it as an input, then also it is the small box is pointing towards downside. We use dynamic and input text when we are using action scripts, when you are accepting values on the stage. So right now it should be always static text. So now it is a static text. The problem with Flash is you cannot animate this text as it is. So it's an complete one object. So when you want to work at a character level, text level, we need to break it down into single letters. So before breaking down into single letters, let us transform it, increase text font size. Okay, so if you want little bigger font here, well, we can do that. Now I have placed the font here. So this is one object, so we need to have individual letters T, E, X, T. So we need to break it down. To break the text from the menu, click on modify and click break apart. So you can do it in three ways. One is go to modify, select break apart. Okay, the other way is click on the left menu, select the text, click on the left menu, and here also you will get an option break apart. Okay, now once you click on this text is divided, split up into individual letters. Now it is easy for us to animate. Now we cannot go for animating, picking each letter and animating. If we can distribute this text to different layers, it will be easy. That can be done by selecting modify, transform. Okay, click on timeline, select distribute layers. This is one way. The other way is select the letters, right or left click and select distribute layers. So here you have seen like the text is distributed into 4 different layers. Now it is time for us to animate this text. So what I'll do here is I'll select all the layers text, okay, so which I would like to animate, and I'm going to add few more layers. Okay, to add multiple layers, just hold the shift key and click on the layer where you want to add additional layers. So default key, then select, okay, frames. Now we have got keyframes here. One more time, hold the shift key and select the frames. Once again click keyframe. Now we have keyframes here. Now what you do is go to this frame, select these frames, all the frames, and move these frames a little higher. Yeah. Now click on create motion twin. What happens is right. Now to give an animation effect, just hold the shift key and okay. Okay, so sorry, next letter, just drag it here and just go and drag it. Last letter, and repeat the same thing with okay. Now add a keyframe here, another keyframe here, sorry, keyframe and another keyframe here, then go for the last, okay, go to the last and insert keyframe. Now if you look at this, we have animated the text. Okay, go to control, test movie, okay, so this is how we can animate the text. Right, so this is one way of animating the text. Let us do it, and then so this is a basic thing for animating the text. There are different ways which you can edit and animate the text. So like this is one other way where we have animated a text. Okay, so I had given the twin in the reverse direction, so the text moves downwards. Okay, so this is how basically we have seen two ways of animating the text. The steps remain the same. First, set the font size. Second one, break the text, then adjust the text, then apply twin. So once you twin the text, you can do it in any way you like. Okay, so let us try one more graphic where we can put on a text. Okay, so we'll start with a new file. Okay, I'll go to new, and to import an image, to bring an image to the stage, so click on import import to stage, or you can also import to the library. So anyways, it's fine. Now in this case, we'll import an image or graphic to the stage. Okay, so once I select that, so I'll pick a pot. So what I'm going to do on this animation is I'm going to bring out the letters from this pot into this area. Like if I take a letter flash, I'll bring each letter F, L, A, S, H from this pot. Now once I have set the pot on the stage, so I'll name this layer as pot. Okay, then I'll add another layer. Now in this layer I'm going to animate the text which I want to move from the pot to the stage. Okay, now I don't want to disturb or mess up with the first layer, so I'm locking the first layer and I'll be working on the second layer. So I'll take the text flash, LASH. Okay, so if it is okay, you can use this, just drag a little bit. Right, so we have a text now. So I think the font size is little small. You can increase the size, you can increase the width. Okay, so this should be done before you split, you break up the letters. So once you are satisfied with this letters, again this letter should fit in the pot. Right, okay, so yeah, they exactly fit into the pot. Now the next step that I do is I'll break this letters, I'll break them apart. When you break them apart, so after breaking them apart, what I do is so once again I select the text. I will distribute this letters to layers. Okay, fine. Now I have distributed this layers. Now what I do is I'll bring this letters and I'll keep the letters here. Now the next step which I'm going to do is so as the layers are already selected, I'll copy this frames, then I will create I will select few more frames. Okay, and I will click on insert keyframe. Okay, now this frames, okay, so the spot is not visible because we had so we had not added frames. Okay, so for time being, so once you add a frame here, okay, pot also will be visible, but for time being, okay, so fine, no problem. So we'll add this. Okay, now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to select all the frames. Okay, I'm going to select all the frames and move this frames somewhere here, and the next thing that I'm going to do is create a motion tween. So that can be done at a time. Just hold the shift key and click on the frames. So create a motion tween. Now, so what happens here is if I go for a motion tween now, all the text will move at a time, so which I don't want. I want each letter to be moved at a time. So I want first flash F to move, then I want L to move from here to this location. Right, from again I want A to be moved. Okay, so then finally I want S to be moved from here to here. Then last letter is H. Okay, now all those letters have to be seen. So what you can do is just insert a frame there, and another frame here, another frame here, and one more frame here. Okay, so finally insert a frame here. So if you want, you can unlock it now. Now see what happens when I move this player head. Right, okay, so everything is fine. We'll test our movie now. Is it not simple? It's very simple to work with text and images. In the next lesson we'll be working with images, how to animate images, how to go with advanced animations and images. That's the end of the lesson.